Welcome to the OhioRAAM Show.
Well, hello, everybody. This is the OhioRAAM Show. I'm Lee Kreider, and Jim Lawyer is not with me tonight. He's out having dinner with some people down there in Sebring. He was there covering the Sebring 12 24-hour race. It got to be quite a chore. He wound up having to send me files. I had to put them together and post them. So the report you saw took a lot of effort on both our parts. And I didn't even get a chance to trim my beard today. I was kind of crashed here till just recently. And we want to welcome you to the show, and the show about ultra cycling. And we come to you from the time stations here in Ohio, the Race Across America time stations, 41 in Oxford, 42 in Blanchester, and 43 in Chillicothe. And before I say anything else, I just want to say a word of appreciation for Jim. I kid him a lot about things, but he put in a maximum effort, not only in crewing for Doug Chivington and Joe Lawhorn and Joe Barr there at Sebring, but also for the show, and did this wonderful setup. Got a couple nice pictures here. Presented the OhioRAAM show real well. And what can I say, Jim? It's just marvelous what you have done. And it's deeply appreciated. I think you've advanced the cause of what we're trying to do here a great deal. We've got several women here to talk to today. But before we do that, we want to just talk about a couple things that have cropped up recently. Let me look over here. Oh, look at my cue sheet. If I'm a little ragged tonight, you know I always am when Jim's not here, so just bear with us. I want to make sure you give us your comments and questions. If you can't think of anything else, just tell us where you're from, and I think we have some people here already. Oh, Jim, you're there. Sorry, I can't be. He's probably having a really, really nice meal. And I have just had a sandwich here this evening. So, Jim, enjoy it. You're worth every penny that we spend on you. And that's not much, but you're worth a lot. Hey, Greg Zuber is here. Nice job, Lee and Jim. Greg says, thank you, Greg, for that. We appreciate you, the voice of RAM. You hear him first thing and so forth. Phil Alloy is here. Well, that brings up something that I wanted to talk about. Yes, Jim, we love you. You did a wonderful job. We found ourselves in touch with a group of people in Nairobi, Kenya, a group of women cyclists there. And we were quite amazed at what we found. And the Major Taylor Club of Nairobi. And we want to have them on the show sometime in April. I forget the date exactly. And tell a little bit about what they're doing there. They're interested in ultra cycling. I know that Sally, who we're going to hear from in a moment, she has been following the Race Across America. She's been following ultra cycling in India. And we're going to be talking more with her in the future. And Phil Alloy, who just, or Gallo, I guess. Let me get his name right here. Comments. Yeah, Phil Alloy. It is Alloy. Yeah. Is with the Columbus Major Taylor Cycling Club and is a sponsor, which is a sponsor of them. So let me get back to where I was at here and hear from Sally.
Hello, everyone. This is Salome Kanini from Kenya, and I'll be on OhioRAAM show on 4th of April. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Sally. We had a delightful conversation. I'm really excited to be a part of that. Hey, I got a photograph here I got to show you if I can find it. I had it right here. There we go. Like I said, I need my gem here. This is the group. Uh, aren't those women beautifully kitted out? And we hope that this is the beginning of something great in that nation. And we'll be looking forward to talking with them a little later on. No, Jim, you do so much better job than I do about the news and all that. I'm not going to try to get into it, but we're going to at least tell you a little bit about what's going to happen here next week.
Hi, my name is Klaus Snippen from Copenhagen, Denmark. Right now it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit and storming in Copenhagen, and the summer on RAM seems quite a distant away. I'm a member of the Danish team, 4 Children, riding in the RAM Across America 2022. It's a 4-rider mixed team consisting of 3 men and 1 woman. We are all above 50, and we rise to raise awareness and funds to support children in special need through a very established Danish foundation. And now comes a difficult Danish name called Julemærkefonden. It's very, very Danish with some particular vocabulary. But Julemærkefonden have homes for children where they live for up to 2 months, getting new habits. So, and that way they help them. You can meet the team and the rest of the members when you visit the OhioRAAM show this coming Sunday, February the 27th. See you there.
And thank you very much for that. We're looking forward to meeting with these people from Denmark. That's a nation that has come on strong since the time the OhioRAAM show has been in business. When we first started, there was virtually no one from Denmark, and now we got all kinds of people arriving. And yeah, there's a lot of news from Sebring. We're not going to get into it. I'm not trying to, but we expect Jim to do double duty when he gets back and give us some Sebring news. Now, give us some comments, because if you comment, you are likely to win one of our OhioRAAM show mouse pads here. You go into a hopper, and I'm going to spin it later on. Jim, I got it all set up here to work, believe it or not, because that's generally his job. So with that, let's get on with Team Love, Sweat, and Gears with Julie Lyon. Julie's been on the show a number of times. Hi, Julie. How are you?
Hi, Lee. I'm good. How are you?
You know, I was just thinking, when you were on the show one time, didn't you have a bird set on your shoulder or something?
Yes, the bird died.
The bird died. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but we're glad you're with us at least. And you've been with, tell me a little bit about Love, Sweat, and Gears. You keep showing up at these races. Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing this, and what all kinds of races you've been involved in?
Well, Love, Sweat, and Gears actually became a 501c3 nonprofit in 2013. And that all kind of came about from racing in RAM and wanting to kind of give back. You know, we were all having a great time and having fun and racing, and our team just decided we really wanted to give back to women, children, people within our community. We just kind of wanted to make a mark. And so we formed our 501c3, and through Love, Sweat, and Gears, it kind of evolved to become a platform for both training endurance cyclists, but also for a fundraising platform for a variety of nonprofit organizations. So depending on who's actually racing, that's where the nonprofit support comes from.
So this year, the women are all from North Dakota, I believe, Julie. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Well, yep. I'd like you to introduce them to me, and we'll bring them on as you do.
Okay, so I'll start with Kylie Harmon. Here she is. Let me just say really quickly that these women from North Dakota, we've all connected. We've never met in person in this day and age. Everything's done virtually. And the thing that really attracted me to this team is not only they're amazing athletes. I mean, they're just incredible. But they also have such a soft heart for their community, and they chose a nonprofit within their community that supports their community. It's called Gaia Home, and it has to do with end-of-life care. Kylie is the executive director for that organization, and they've just managed to drum up a ton of interest within their community because everyone is supporting them. So Kylie is fantastic, and I think of her on the team. If I had to give anybody a role, I would call her the Force, as in the Force be with you. And she's the person that does all the scheduling and crunches the numbers and plans the events and does the social media, and she's truly a force to be reckoned with.
Thank you, Julie.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Next, we have Karen Gardner.
We'll find her here.
There she is. So Karen, I think of on the team as the backbone. She's kind of the behind the scenes person that's pulling all the strings. You don't really see what's going on, and the next thing you know, it's done. Her husband, Mike, is going to be crew chief, and her sister, Kim, who you'll meet eventually, is their backup alternate rider. Next, we have Melanie.
Okay, Melanie.
There she is. I think of Melanie on the team as the connector. She seems to be the one that has the most connections within the community. She knows the most people. People are attracted to her. She's very supportive of what the team is doing, and people seem to follow her. So, very important role.
Thanks, Julie.
And then we have Lori.
Okay, I was getting a drink of water there.
Come on. I think of Lori as the team's secret weapon. And the reason why I think that is because I'm also training the team. And Lori is the one, she never asks the question. She never complains. She's quiet. And then I go and look at her workout and I'm like, I see her metrics and I'm speechless. She just gets on there and goes. So she's going to be the team's secret weapon.
Thank you.
Then we have Kim. There's Kim. And Kim and Karen are sisters. And if you can believe it, they ride Trainer Road together via FaceTime, which I can't even fathom because I'm usually dying when I'm doing something indoors. And Kim is really special to the team because she's training as an alternate. If she doesn't ride, she will be a crew. But in the meantime, she is training her little heart out. She lives in Portland when everyone else lives in North Dakota. So she does all of her training alone unless she's riding FaceTime with Karen. I think of Kim as the believer, and I do that. I think of that mainly because her email has fairy dust. To me, she's the person who really believes this is going to happen, and she is going to she believes she's putting herself out there for the team, no matter if she rides or crews or whatever. So we've got a really well-rounded group of women that are athletes, and they're caring, and they're warm, and I just couldn't be more proud to have them as part of Love, Sweat, and Gears.
Are you going to be on the crew, Julie?
It's too hard. Hard.
I just shouldn't ask that, huh? We want to say hello to Tracy McKay out there. There's just too many Tracys in ultra cycling. I get their names all mixed up. But okay, well, that's great. So let's just kind of go down the line here. I put Kim and Karen there together so we could make some compare and contrast.
They're definitely sisters.
Yeah.
And so again, I want to remind everybody, be sure to just tell us where you're from. Say, I'm from wherever you are, North Dakota or what have you, and you get your name put in the hopper here. And if you don't want the thing, why, it's kind of fun to win. Kim, tell us a little about yourself and how you got into cycling or your cycling background.
Well, I live in Oregon and with my really awesome family and my pets in my garden. And I am a speech therapist in one of the local hospitals, and I work with adults, mostly actually doing end-of-life care, which is why Kylie's the Gaia House is just such a huge, awesome piece to be with these girls, because it is something that is truly dear to me in my daily thing. As far as cycling, I just somehow stumbled upon it one day, and I really love it. And I like to go everywhere and see everything outside, and just see all the pretty things, and I guess go as long as I can, as fast as I can.
Hey, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And she's pretty darn fast too, and she can go for a long time.
Well, Karen, you're next. Tell me.
Sure. I am originally from Seattle, moved to North Dakota about 12 years ago, 11, 12 years ago, and had been cycling in the rain up hills, which is very different to what we do in North Dakota, which is cycling in the wind on the flats. And so what was cool about coming here and discovering the community is like a whole different way of riding your bike. And between growing up with hills and coming here and riding on flats in the wind, I just really fell in love with so many more aspects of cycling. And here in North Dakota, you can cover a lot of distance in a short amount of time because it's flat. And so we have, a really great cycling community here. And I met all these gals through that community. And so when the conversation started about this, and it's been well over a year ago, it came from Kylie. And I hope she'll get a chance to tell a little bit about, how it jumped into her brain and how she got us all going. But the fact that Kylie, is involved with Gaia Home so intimately, and Kim and I, our parents are in their 90s, and so end of life care is very much on our radar, and knowing that is something in our future. And so if we can, the work that we're doing here that supports Gaia Home, it hits us really close to our home.
Well, I've cycled across North Dakota, west to east, and I can tell you it is windy there, and the winds do not always blow out of the west in North Dakota, much to my dismay. So I understand exactly what you're talking about. Lori, tell me a little about yourself.
Thank you. I'm a North Dakota native, have been a runner most of my life, and got drawn into the triathlon community and then the cycling community with a lot of these ladies a few years ago. This adventure is somewhat beyond my wildest dreams. It's drawn us closer together as friends and drawn our cycling community closer together. And it's also connected us to our community itself with Gaia Homes and just with us promoting this race. It's the last several months have been life-changing for me already. And I think we've got a long ways to go. So I'm excited.
Okay, well, I want to talk a little about the charity. So I believe, is it, Kylie, are you going to be the one to do that?
Yes.
Okay, let me get it. Tell us about yourself, and then let's talk about Gaia Homes.
Yes. So I got to know all of these ladies, really starting with Melanie many years ago and learning about triathlon and cycling. And there's a wonderful triathlon community here. And so that's my athlete background, is just a lot of triathlons and cycling and such. And then reached out to the group of ladies over a year ago, saw a documentary about Love, Sweat, and Gears and a 4-man team. And I said, wow, this just looks amazing. And knowing that we were in the process of just starting Gaia Home as a brand new nonprofit here in Bismarck, our goal is to create one of the first residential end-of-life facilities in the state of North Dakota. Currently, right now, when people are in need of hospice care, and most of that time is in-home hospice care, but at times it just isn't an option for people. If they don't have the 24-hour caregiver support, or if they just don't want to have that experience in their home, the current option for those people are to move into a hospital or a skilled nursing facility. And what we want to do is provide a true home away from home, for people to have that end-of-life experience. And that's what Gaia Home will be. It'll a brand new option for people's end-of-life care here in not only in Bismarck, but in the state of North Dakota. And so reached out to these ladies because I have so much respect for them and in all of that they do in their athletic world and in their professional and personal world, and just said, hey, would you be willing to do this crazy adventure and in support of Gaia Home so that we can get our name out there? Because we are getting ready to go into the leadership phase of the capital campaign to raise the funds to build Gaia Home and to provide for operational costs as we get started. And I was so humbled and incredibly blessed that they said yes and have joined this crazy adventure.
Are there Gaia Homes in other places besides North Dakota? Is this a whole new concept?
So there are places similar to Gaia Home all across the United States. They're in Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, like all around us, but not one in North Dakota. Okay. And a majority of these places are typically a building with 8 to 12 rooms or private suites where people can move into and receive hospice services. And what's really unique about Gaia Home and what we're trying to do, instead of just being a building, we're proposing to build a community of twin homes. So a community of residential spaces and then other community spaces that families can literally move into, receive care, hospice care from a provider of their choosing, which is another unique thing because most of these places are owned by a hospice provider. And there are multiple hospice providers in this area. And so we want our homes to be open to all the hospice providers that want to provide services. Okay. And then we will provide a 24-hour support with caregiving staff that takes over the caregiver role that the family members typically take on so they can just be family and really treasure their precious time together.
Well, I wish I had gone back to your website, saw a schematic of the design of your facility, and I think it's quite interesting where you have these individual pods surrounding a central service facility.
Yep.
And I think maybe a place like North Dakota, it seemed to me, is particularly advantageous because of the distances some people have to travel. And I have to say that having had two members of my family, close members of my family in hospice care, and then having been married to a hospice nurse for 20 years, I am well aware of both ends of the stream, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And it was an interesting experience being married to a hospice nurse who did both home care and inpatient care during her career in that facility. And I could just say it's kind of interesting. She had to retire because of a stroke a number of years ago and still gets calls and Christmas cards and so forth from family members from 30 years ago. So that kind of tells you a little bit about what people think of this kind of care. Where is this going to be located, Kylie?
So it will be located somewhere in the city of Bismarck. Right now, this year is the year where we're kicking off the leadership phase of our campaign, where securing some main lead gifts as well as securing the land as to where Gaia Home will be. So we're anticipating somewhere in Bismarck, probably on the north end, because that's where the community seems to be growing.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, well, that's wonderful. Now let's see. Let's get to Melanie here. We don't want to overlook her.
Oh, no worries. No worries. Thank you. And then thanks again, Lee, for having us on your show. We sure appreciate it. And big thanks to Julie Lyons. This experience for me has, like Lori mentioned, we've all kind of trained together, but we've never trained together like this. And so it's really been a wonderful opportunity to be coached by someone like Julie, who's actually done this event and knows it so well. I'm a physical therapist by background, and cycling and triathlon have been a part of my life for probably 35 years at least, maybe even more than that. So I'm the most vintage member of the team for sure. But I'm learning a lot, and I think that's so attractive to all of us, to just continue to learn and grow, and then to be able to do something for a cause that really invests in our community. I've lived in, other than a short stint over in the UK, I've lived in Bismarck most all of my life, raised my family here, and now helping to raise my grandchildren here as well. And so to be able to have this great event where we're growing physically, emotionally, learning, and then also investing in our community at the same time with making Gaia Home a reality is something that I just have to remind myself. Julie sends us these really hard workouts.
Yes.
And when I'm downstairs on my bike, because of course we're not going to be riding outside here for a couple more months. When I'm downstairs on my bike, I'm like, you don't have to do this, you get to do this. And this is a wonderful opportunity. And sometimes I have to have some big conversations with myself when I'm in zone 5. But,
for like an hour.
No one's passed out yet, so I think I am not pushing them hard enough.
Right.
As far as you know, Julie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They'll
tell you everything.
The trainer and writhing up and down.
There might be some swear words going on, but
Well, you won't be the first. So.
Surely not.
No, but we
Surely
are getting
not.
stronger thanks to Julia. It just feels
really
amazing. And just to echo Melanie's comments, we're so glad that we connected with you, because it gives us a different kind of confidence going into something this unique and difficult, right? We just really trust your knowledge and your experience with it, and we've learned a ton from you already. So thank you so much.
Well, Jim out there, he's monitoring my performance, I can tell. Do you all train together? Or you have plans before the race to train?
Well, that's one of the really great things, is that majority of the team, we are located here in Bismarck together, and Melanie is also a cycling instructor at one of the local wellness centers here. And so it's been a lot of fun that we've been able to get together at the cycling studio and do some really crazy hard work, because we actually had one today where we went for 2 hours, and that was fun. And then we're always with Kim out in Washington. We're just keeping her with us in spirit. But I love the fact that Kim and Karen, you guys talk about what you guys do, right? Because I think it's just wonderful.
Julie,
Go for it.
Yes.
What would you like to ask these ladies?
What would I like to ask them?
Yeah.
You're not going to quit on me, are you?
No, never.
No, this experience is worth its weight in gold. It really is. I mean, even from where we sit now. Yeah. And I want to go back just really briefly to like how it all came about. And, Kylie texted us, she watched the documentary and she texted us and she's like, we have to do this. And Kylie's the kind of friend, I hope everybody listening has a friend like Kylie who lives big and dreams bigger and brings forward that, hey, we have to do this. And some of those things that she's brought forward like that in the past have been some of the most fun, crazy, hard, scary, awesome things that I've done. Ironman, long rides, interesting, adventures all around. So, I was sitting kind of in a dark place during COVID when that text came through. And here comes Kylie with this amazing idea. And here we are today. The fact that this group could come together and make it a reality is just has just made a lot of difference. I mean, Lori's saying, it's made a difference in her life over the recent months as well. And there's no doubt. And I'm super excited to see what happens next.
Yeah.
What's your cat's name?
Yes.
This is Sundance the cat. She likes to be on camera.
We love
She's a bit
cats
of a nuisance, but I am the team's crazy cat lady.
We had Julie's bird, so I think we could have Sundance here as well. One thing I forgot when Kylie was talking was that on the show notes for the show at OhioRAAMshow.com, we have links to the website for Gaia Home, where you can go and learn more about this type of idea. Maybe somebody somewhere else in the nation or world might say, hey, that sounds like something interesting. I'd like to learn more about it. And also there's a link there to their funding link, so they get credit for it at that account. So be sure to check that out, the OhioRAAMshow.com. And there's a lot more people watching, but they haven't made any comments. I guess they don't want one of my mouse pads. I want to tell you, Greg Zuber has his framed on the wall above his desk. So, I mean, there's going to come a time when you wish you had one, because they will become a precious collector's item worth quite a lot. So just tell us where you're from, folks. What any of you can answer this question? It's my 4 a.m. question. That's probably not a very good question, but I ask it almost every show. At 4 a.m., when you wake up and think about this, what kind of thoughts go through your head that keep you from going back to sleep?
You know, I think, I don't know that I wake up at 4 a.m. and ask myself that question, but multiple times during the day, I ponder this opportunity, and I look at how my emotions have changed in the last couple of months. I was real hesitant about this race for several weeks, and nervous, scared, and that has changed significantly since we've started training together. We've met Julie, we've grown together as a team, we've engaged the community, and now, quite frankly, it feels like a privilege. So when I wake up at 4 a.m. or these thoughts I get during the day, I'm not afraid. I'm not second guessing myself. I truly feel honored. And Julie, I don't know if that happens with other teams. I'm not sure, but it's the closeness I feel to these ladies and to Julie, and just the opportunity, these God-given talents that we have, and the things that we get put in front of us. It really is a beautiful opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that the beauty of what Lori's saying, when I wake up at 4 a.m, that's what I am thinking. Are they getting this message that not only are they finding within themselves something they didn't know was there, but do they understand how fortunate they are to do it? And
right.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And
and I was just going to mention too, I mean, we think about the physical part of this, and we know how much stronger we've gotten already, and will continue hopefully to get stronger, but it's so much more than that, right? We know that this experience isn't just going to build muscle, it's going to build resilience and grit and teamwork, and so many of those things can serve us well, not just through this race, but through life, right? I one of Karen's quotes, I think, Karen, you gave me this one, but it's a great quote. And I think it was one time in cycling class that you said it, but choosing the hard road sometimes is good practice for when the hard road chooses us. And I think that's such a beautiful quote. So thank you, Karen, for that.
Absolutely.
And I lean on that a lot. I think there's been times like Lori too, where I felt some doubt in the beginning, and I'm the oldest member of the team, and so I think it's finding that right balance between being really accountable and training hard, but then also being self-compassionate, and trying to be able to use that positive self-talk to keep you going, and realize that we're all going to have some confidence swings, but again, that choosing that hard road is going to pay off for us. So Julie, keep paving the hard road. We'll keep
Yes.
Well, Julie has a history, believe me, and yeah. Well,
Lee, how many people has she lost that she's coached? Just curious.
Really good question.
We're still looking for a couple on the side of the road.
Well, Yeah, well, you know, on the Race Across America, you encounter just about every kind of challenge you can imagine. You've got heat, you've got mountains, you've got wind, you've got some of the sharpest hills you're ever going to encounter anywhere, anytime. And that's toward the end of the race, as Julie
Yeah.
can tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we've had people get to Ohio and think it's over. Wait a minute. And we always talk about Jim Lawyer's time station 43 there in Chillicothe. When you're sitting there in front of the time station, you're going to see the next challenge right ahead of you. It's there to be seen. And the first of it's right down at the end of that street.
Yeah.
And
Fair, actually.
it's called West Virginia. I don't think I ever cried on a bike before until West Virginia. And I say that having been across North Dakota. No, I love North Dakota. Wonderful people. I have so many great stories and I could get started in them. I won't do that because this is your show, not mine today. And at any rate, we really appreciate you coming on here. And doggone it, we haven't had that many comments. But Jim, I'm going to spin this thing anyhow. Let's see. I got to see. This is where Jim comes in handy. He knows how to do this. So I got a step one, find a window, find the right window, and share that window. And I believe we have it here. We don't have many entries, but let's give it a spin anyhow and see who's the unlucky person to get this. Mouse pad.
Me.
That's cute.
If it's Jim Lawyer, he doesn't get anything because he already has one. Tracy McKay. I can't think of a better person to get this than Tracy. Bless your heart.
That's wonderful.
And Tracy, if you're still with us, I don't know if I have your address or not, but let's see. Let's get that address here. Let's see. Here's where I need my Jim. Winner at OhioRAAMshow.live. Send it there. We'll get that out to you. And that's great. I can't. Tracy, I just wanted to say, keep reading your email because I'm going to be in touch with you pretty soon here. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I got a couple more comments here. Well, from Jim. You can do it. Yeah, well, I did it, didn't I? Even if I had to stumble a little bit there. And it says a great show. Well, Jim, I want to say again, thanks so much for what you did this weekend down at Sebring. What an amazing job. Jim, he's one of these people, ladies, that doesn't know when to say no, you know, and you ask him to do anything and, oh, sure, I can do that. And so it is. With that, I'm going to say thank you to all of you who are watching out there, even though you were too shy to put your name in the hopper. And I want to say thank you for you ladies. When you come through Ohio, we'll be here waiting for you. 3 great staff time stations in a row. And as I suggested, when you leave 43, you're going to need all the moral support you can get. And we're going to try to give it to you. I shouldn't scare them like that, should I, Julie?
No,
Bring it on. Bring it on. We'll be ready.
Stop.
You know, in that vein, people will always ask me, says, well, how'd you get over the Rocky Mountains? And I said, let me tell you, the Rockies are a snap. Let's talk about
they can be a snap. It's because you're not as tired when you're in the Rockies.
Yeah, and of course I took it a little different way. You know, my crossing, I wasn't racing, I was touring, and if I didn't make it today, I'd make it tomorrow, kind of thing. But yeah, West Virginia can be a real challenge. But anyway, that's enough about West Virginia. It's a beautiful state, though. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see all you ladies. Stick around a little bit. We'll talk as soon as we go off the air. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
And we'll see you
Thank
next
you.
week.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
This is Gregory Zuber, thanking you for watching and sharing.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.